Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Farside TV. We have Huebline.
What's up, everybody?
We got Amaru.
What's going down? What up, though?
Cool, cool. So what's up, man? Huebline, what city are you from?
So I grew up in a little town called Simsbury, outside Hartford in Connecticut. And yeah, I've been out here in LA for the past 5 or 6 years.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
Yeah,
So how's it so how has the transition been?
it's been cool. I bounced around a bunch at first, and then the last like 3.5 years I've been in South Central. So that's been really fun. Honestly, my favorite part of LA probably. It's like the first place I like know my neighbors and like there's like real community and stuff. And like that's where everyone in my band pretty much lives down there too. And then we just got back from tour a couple weeks ago, so I was subleasing my room, and now I'm staying with my cousin in Pasadena, which is a little quieter, a little bit out the way, but it's all right. And now I'm just trying to kind of get my life back together after being on tour all summer.
Tight, tight. Yeah, nah, man. Shoot you in Pasadena. My boy, he has a store in
Oh,
Pasadena, like a little shop. Nah, we have to hook up.
yeah,
To,
definitely.
have to go and yeah, check it out, man.
Yeah, I will.
I'm with anything food related for the most
Yeah.
part that doesn't have to do with wild cheeses and funky game and all that kind of
hmm
stuff. But
Yeah, I'm not
simple
loving
stuff,
cheese.
tacos, pizza, wing, you know, all that.
Yeah.
Hey, you see that mountain lion yet back there?
I haven't. I've seen some coyotes.
Yeah, I saw a mountain lion walking past one
Oh,
day.
good.
Get
There's
you.
bears walking around where I'm from, which is I like them. They're pretty chill, but I'm probably cool on mountain lions.
It
That's
was
a
a
big
baby.
cat, man.
It was a
Oh,
baby.
that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
So since you knew the South Central,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that one sign, that one telltale sign when things are going too far.
Yeah.
We got a coyote infestation in
I know.
LA and LA County. And I mean, you used to just see one of them just kind of cruising around, but they cruise in packs now.
Uh,
They're all over Crenshaw. They're snatching cats and dogs all over. Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's we used to have a bunch of where my office is located, warehouse, we used to have a bunch of cats around. And
Yeah.
that was when I only saw one coyote rolling by himself. But once they start rolling deep with the homeboys and all that, man, them cats are thin. You know?
So yeah, you think it's because there's less mountain lions now and they don't kill the coyotes as much?
Nah, I don't. Well, for one, I think that there was a lot of coyotes before the Altadena fire, but with
Mm,
stuff like the fire, it
right.
drives that stuff either in a direction where they're going to go further up the hill or they're going to come down.
You're right.
But
And they
then
came
people are
down.
so crazy, they'll feed anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
And there's food and trash everywhere. So
dude, I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing I've seen in my life. Uh, we were in London and we were walking from a venue. We were walking. We had left the venue. We got something to eat, and we're walking to the hotel. And so we were walking with one of my buddies that was from London, and I saw something like moving around the street, but it was different than a coyote, different than a raccoon, possum, whatever.
fox.
Man, but let me tell you how smart they are, though. So the people on this particular street, they didn't have trash cans, but they just
Mm,
kind of took their trash and they kind of put it on the curb. And so the fox was literally going from like porch to porch and checking out to see what it was. And I had
they're
just never
crazy.
seen
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, it was an intelligent animal. I was like, I had
Yeah.
never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah. My sister lives in London actually. And we were in Europe all summer, so I stayed with her a bunch. And the foxes are just everywhere. It's like I've never seen that in my life.
it's the same
Just
sister
like
that lived in New York.
yeah, she just moved to London.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, you're walking, it's like that's a fox. Like I feel like they're in the woods here, but out there they're just like cats.
There's a different rodent or a different mongrel or whatever you
Yeah,
want to
yeah, oh
call it.
Oh, cousin.
little trash pandas.
Man, yeah,
They're funny.
dope. So,
You know,
so since you live in South Central, before we hop off into the interview, I'm gonna give you one good.
Yeah.
You gotta play with Earls, man.
Oh yeah, Earl's is good. I live right by there.
I used to
Okay.
live
Earl's,
on 54th and
A1
Northern.
Burger, Woody's, all of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You right. You right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to live on
I've been
54th North.
on Fourth Ave for yeah,
Oh
years.
man, I was I was over there Saturday and Sunday. Matter of fact, I was at Doolin's on
Hmm.
Sunday. Yeah,
The Wagwan place, the new place on Crenshaw and Vernon is really good.
dude,
It's good.
I'm feeling them. The juices are dope.
I like
Homeboy,
their
anything
patties are
food
really good.
related, man. I'm homeboy is cooking up the chicken right in the back. Just the
Yeah.
parking is just crazy. That's the that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what though? I'm this is gonna be the last foodie thing before we hop into the double dutch. But my spot moved, man. What was the Jamaican spot over in
Little Kingston.
nope,
Oh,
nope.
because no, they just changed their name.
The one that's right in Lamert on that corner.
Oh,
Aki Bamboo.
yes. Yeah. Did that
Yep,
move?
they just moved.
That must have been while we were away this summer.
Yeah. Aki Bamboo. That's cool. That's
Yeah. Lemer's the best.
So what's the last album you listened to?
The last album I fully listened to, um, I was trying to think what I listened to all the way through. Probably this album, a live album called Cooking at the Queens by this jazz guitar player who from like the 80s and 90s called Emily Remler. I just listened to that all the way through. I was listening to a lot of jazz all summer. That or Moving West by Wes Montgomery are probably the two most recent full albums I listened to.
dope. Dope. I'll tell you, I've been bouncing around.
Hmm.
Uh I listen to an album every weekend. I
Nice.
don't want to get I feel like listening to an album is almost like a sacred language. And like if you
Hmm.
don't practice, it's like cursing. The kids now, and I don't know how old you are, but like man, they don't understand what cursive is. It's like, it's like
Yeah.
hieroglyphics. Uh I listened to Freaky Style by the Red Hot Chili Peppers last weekend. And but most of that was me just George Clinton
Mm.
producing the Chili Peppers, me thinking LA in the 80s, a whole lot going on, George Clinton being at the very top of his game, and
Hmm.
then you have these dudes from Beverly Hills who I don't want to say that the Chili Peppers are they're not they weren't a punk band, but they had essences of punk
Like
and
quality.
even some rap that I really didn't prescribe to, but kind of
Yeah.
funky and whatnot. And so I listened to that album because I was just like, man, I wanted to sonically, I wanted to see like, were they really doing something cutting edge? And like for George
Mm.
Clinton to produce that album, it was a pretty dope album.
Yeah, I've actually never listened to that one. I looked it up. I didn't realize they were even doing it in '85. I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Freaky
Oh,
Style.
that's what the Catholic Schoolgirls one is on.
Hey, it's a trip because so to give you a little history on that, um, the Chili Peppers were from Beverly Hills, like not really
Mhm.
up in the hills, but like apartments like around
Yeah.
Beverly Hills. And on the other street from the Chili Peppers was Slash from
Mm.
Guns N' Roses. And so like
Hmm.
all those dudes were like teenagers like coming up together. And I know that Slash, I want to say Slash graduated from Fairfax, which is off of
Hmm.
Fairfax and Melrose.
Yep.
Yeah, the high school over there. So just a little LA, LA history. All right, so
Yeah.
now we're gonna flip it to hip hop. Your
Okay.
favorite hip hop movie?
So does How High count?
Yeah.
So it's definitely How High, but probably also 8 Mile.
The
Okay.
I mean,
the original How High or the didn't they have a
uh,
part two and
the
part
they think they did do a second one, but no, the OG one. Yeah.
thank you.
I tried to make it through the second one or whatever. Like, I tried. It might have been one even
Little
after
Yachty or
that, but
something. Little Yachty
Oh,
or
they
something.
did have one with Lil Yachty. No, I never watched that. No, I didn't want to ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
the first one was a good movie, but it wasn't like over. But then when you think about it, though, what made me not have interest towards anything after that, dude, you had Scroncho, who was the Mike Epps assistant pimp.
Yeah.
You had Mike Epps.
The pimps are so funny in that movie.
Yeah, you had there was so it was truly a cult classic. So
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
kind of felt like anything after that, if you're not putting those ingredients into it like that,
Oh
it's
yeah,
kind of like, eh.
yeah. It's my favorite stoner movie as well, for sure.
Uh,
I love that movie.
Oh,
And we actually, the group I'm in, No Fun, we last summer, so we went on tour with Atmosphere for like the last year and a half. And we opened for them and Method Man and Redman at Red Rocks last summer. So that
oh,
was
that's
pretty
dope.
sweet. And we were just talking like all I could think about. Well, I mean, I love Wu-Tang as well, but also just like these guys made my favorite movie too. Like, it's crazy.
that's dope.
I'll say next to Joshua Tree,
Mm,
Red Rocks has been probably one of the most beautiful places in the United States that I've just I
it's
remember being
something else.
at the stage and looking off to the back off of the stage and just
Yeah,
looking at whatever that scenery is behind the stage and
yeah,
just saying, man, this is beautiful.
yeah. It's something else. And then Atmosphere just did it last Friday. They play there every summer, so they just did it again last Friday with I think it was them and Living Legends.
Okay.
And actually Deltron 3000 was on with us last year too. So we were very first out of everybody.
Yeah,
Sweet.
no, Dale is the homeboy.
Yeah.
I was able to see Deltron. It was somewhere in France that we were on the same one. And
Hmm.
that whole concept in that album, that is like that's dope, man. I
Yeah.
really like that
Tell him
album.
who you're talking about. He might not.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Deltron
No,
project
no. I'm talking about
or
Greg.
no, I'm talking about the Deltron project. So
yeah.
basically it's a Del the Funky Homo
No. I'm
sapien.
saying tell him why you were there.
Oh man, I was out with the Far Side.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
Atmosphere was them Far Side and Cypress Hill on that tour all this summer.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we were tuned into that. They really they took us on our first tour ever, Atmosphere, and they took us on three more after that too. So we spent like a year and a half like all over the States with them.
I was at the Slug Festival.
Hmm.
Shoot, I forget the name of it.
Um,
Uh
I
it's
can't
in
remember.
it's Slugs Festival in the Midwest.
Oh, in the Midwest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It was
Because
like from where they are. Like it was.
mhm,
I don't think it
Minneapolis.
was Minneapolis. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it was so amazing to see Middle America. That's what it looked like.
Mhm.
It looked like an eighth mile in a festival venue,
Yeah.
and like people were driving from states though. That's when I was just like, man, this atmosphere thing, that's a whole nother, he's a whole nother kind of artist, man. That was when I first witnessed that he was a whole different type of artist.
They have such an incredible like just like organic fan base and people. Yeah, we hit. I mean, we did, North and South Dakota with them, Montana, like all the Midwest. And like the closer you got to Minneapolis, like the crazier the crowds got. But people would drive for 10 hours to come see them. Like
Oh
they
yeah,
have
for
they
sure,
have
yeah.
just like, yeah,
So
they're amazing.
the year I was there, they had Freeway
Mm.
and the guy that produced Cocaine Rhyme Flow. Uh man, I don't know if Jake won, maybe. Jake won. He's I forget the name of him. I always get him
Uh-huh.
confused with another producer, but it was him and then Doom performed. And that was
Mm.
and I've probably seen Doom perform about 4 times. And
Sick.
man, it's so crazy he was how big the Doom was, man. Like really how big in his faithful fan base.
Yeah, I was never like I always thought it was dope, but I was never, for whatever reason, like didn't listen to him too much. But I mean, so many of my friends just like he's their absolute hero. And he would have been really cool to get to be around one day and get to do shows with atmosphere and them and him. But yeah, pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, I got put on to him. I got put on to him by a graphic designer
Hmm.
probably in the early 2000s. Like I'd heard, I knew, like I was a KMD fan, so like Peach
Mm.
Fuzz and all that. I had the wax, so that like I was a
Yeah.
fan of that. But like the early 2000s, my boy put me on to him. But it's crazy. I honestly became uh, a real fan when he did when he started working with Danger Mouse and then kind of
Hmm.
his lead into the Adult Swim stuff that he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It does some stuff cool. Yeah.
What medium do you find your music on?
Uh, Definitely YouTube. Um, YouTube, Spotify, and then I'd say my friends for sure, just telling me about stuff. I'd say I probably find, yeah, YouTube, because YouTube will just recommend you stuff. If you watch a music video of something you like, there's like 1,000 options right next to you, and you can just go down a rabbit hole and find all sorts of stuff. But I definitely like if one of my friends out here tells me about somebody, I'm definitely gonna check them out, and that's
I'll tell
the
you
best way for me.
the dopest find that I found on YouTube. It's been about a year ago though, but I'll just say somebody that I found that I was just kind of like, damn, they're they're very talented, and I wouldn't have found them if it wouldn't have been for YouTube. Have you ever peeped out Ocean Alley?
Mm-mm.
You got there's some dudes from New
Ocean Alley.
Zealand.
Oh, sick.
They're from New Zealand, and so their song. So look up Ocean Alley, and the song is about confidence. But the dope thing about them is their song about confidence. Uh, they they recorded a version of it, and somebody sped it up,
Mm.
and so probably as many people like the sped up version as they do the other version, and it kind of reminds you of I can't remember the name, but it reminds me of a song off of the Childish Gambino album, the one before last. Um, I can't remember, but anyway, check out Ocean Alley. You
Oh,
won't.
that's the confidence song is the one that went viral on
Yep.
TikTok. Okay, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, nah, they're dope. They're dope.
I'll have to listen to them more.
So your middle school soundtrack.
My middle school soundtrack was probably just as weird as everything is the strange combinations of music I listen to now, but it was probably some combination of like Green Day, Bowling for Soup, Bruce Springsteen, U2, Biggie, and Jay-Z would probably be a lot, and Wayne too.
I had to
That
think
was
about
like
it.
Carter three. That was like Carter three era.
I had to think about it for a minute because when I went to the seventh grade is when I went to my first foster home leading into eighth grade.
Mm-hmm.
And so before that, it was all Motown. My mama
Mm.
was a religious extremist, so it wasn't no secular music. It was other than Motown, anything Motown. And then when I went to my first foster home was when I got introduced to hip.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was NWA, Ice-T, and it was NWA, Ice-T, DJ Jetty Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and you know, KRS-One, that type of stuff. I,
Hmm.
Public Enemy is when I got introduced, eighth grade
Yeah.
year. Yeah, it was just coming at me. I'm like, what is this? This is amazing. Redhead Kingpin, dyed my hair red because of him. Uh,
Sick. Actually,
yeah.
I gotta say NWA and Snoop definitely I was listening to. That was kind of when I was really like getting into hip hop and like learning
NWA
about all
was
this stuff.
NWA
Yeah.
introduction to me was via tape. Nobody explained it to me. There was
Hmm.
it was some tape you recorded out, whatever. And I remember listening to it for the first time, like I was listening to something like I definitely was supposed to be listening to, and it was like, damn, they saying all this on tape, you know. Oh, damn, they even said about 100 curse words like this. It was just
I
like
remember I counted once how many were in Straight Outta Compton. I was on the bus going home from summer camp, and I was like, I'm gonna just count.
18,
It was a
Dang.
lot. It was a lot.
it was man, it was like it was, and every time I would get a new piece of music for somebody, I remember my first tapes that I bought in my first boom box. So when I was in my probably second foster home or something, second or third, I was in Covert, Michigan.
Mm.
And I bought DJ Jelly Jeff and the Fresh Prince and Digital Underground.
Mm.
That happened in the ninth or 10th grade when I got my first job. But that's yeah, that's what I had. That's what I was rocking with. I know them albums forward and backwards.
Hey, I'll date myself. I remember being in high school and it being a big deal when I was in the 11th grade that uh NWA was recording at this studio in Torrance that was like
Mm.
5 minutes from my high school. And that was just like the biggest deal because like NWA was a like before MTV and all that, like they were a movement. Like they were something that was going
Yeah.
on in the Compton Swap Meet, the mixtapes.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, kind of like mixtapes were kind of the drum beat to the way people communicated music or whatever without the
Yeah.
airwaves necessarily. But we had a radio station out here called K-Day. And
Mm.
so that was kind of where they were. So what genre of music would you call what you do?
So my stuff is kind of like bluesy, indie, alt rock, um, with some forays into pop and you know, I'll push the genres a bit, but I'm like a blues guitar player at heart. But then the group I'm in, which is called No Fun, is nine of us, and that is a hip hop rock collective, I guess you'd say,
How does that
somewhere.
how does that work?
Yeah.
With
Um, so everyone is incredibly talented and produce and write and everything. So when we're making music, it's pretty collaborative. Someone will come up with an idea. I'll come up with someone on something on guitar, or Louis will come up with something on guitar, and then someone will take it and add some drums or some synths, and we just kind of build it like that. And then live, it is a 10-person band, guitar, bass, Swan plays bass and also bass synth, and then I play guitar and sing, and then we've got drums, and then um, the six others, um, I'm sorry, the seven others are either singing or rapping, and we like hand off mics and um, just kind of cause general mayhem. It's fun. So yeah, we all just got back to LA like 2 weeks ago.
uh,
So since June, it was fun. It's great.
if you could change one thing about it, not about the group or anything, but about the situation you're in with the music and how you working right now, what would it be?
Um, about the situation I'm in right now. Oh,
Or about
I think
the business in general?
okay. Yeah, the
No.
business in general, I think the accessibility for anyone to make music is great. Um, but I do think just I'd love the focus to get back onto music and artistry. All the TikTok stuff is great, and it's really cool that you can reach people for free and you can build a fan base. But I do think it's I just think the music has sort of gotten lost in all that. And I would like that to come back for sure.
That's interesting coming from a young man that, like yourself, to to hear your insight and perspective on it, and from coming from your age demographic. Because I feel
Yeah.
the same way. I feel like, and we was talking about this last show, the fact that uh the music is. I'm proud to know that I developed my skills before all this AI stuff
Hmm.
and everything that comes along with the automation and this, that, and the third. I used to live in Studio City with
Mm.
a major producer, platinum plaques on the wall type of thing. And I was there as a screenwriter to get my foot in the door, some
Hmm.
writing opportunities, and inadvertently learn how to make music because it was just at me every day. I'm sleeping on this
Yeah.
man, and next thing you know, somebody from Sony coming in and they doing it in the living room and doing stuff, and subconsciously I was paying attention because when I left and started doing it myself and dabbling in it, I was like, oh, that's what he was doing. Oh, that's
Right.
why he did that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the fun part.
yeah, yeah, and my fear along with yours is that you know that's going to be a lost art, and just like writing in cursive, people ain't
Hmm.
they don't they're gonna be just expecting to push a button and this is gonna happen, and you know it's
Well, I hate to break it to both you guys, but the reason it's called the music business is because it is a business.
yeah.
And you know, the people that are involved in the business aren't a bunch of philanthropists and just people with great hearts that just want to see nice young artists blossom and come about themselves
That's
and
the
learn
problem.
about.
That's the problem. The execs,
I'm not saying what it is, but I'm saying what it is.
oh,
You know what I'm saying? I'm not
yeah,
saying what it is. I'm just saying what it is. And so when you take away the amount of money that was made by a tangible hard item and you replace that with something digital, and then there's so many people doing it because before,
okay.
no one could afford a Pro Tools engineer, or let me reframe that. Let me rephrase that. People could afford Pro Tools engineers, but the distance between the artists that could afford Pro Tools and go to an actual studio to record something and those that did it, like in the day, recording at home was almost like a pre-production concept thing that you were doing on 6 or 8 tracks, and then you
Right.
would take that and then go into the big studio. So you wouldn't waste money in the $1,000 a day studio. You
Hmm.
would be at home or at a small production studio, and you would get like concepts and all kinds of things as far as you could get them between 6 and 8 tracks. And then you take that and you go to the $1,000 a day studio, and then you would refine it, flush it, run it through the big board and do all that.
Yeah.
But see, what happened is you had the MP3 that came along, and then on top of the MP3, you had uh Fruity Loops and all these different, very accessible caveats that went along with making music. And so basically, from a person either having a very well off financial backer or a record company, anybody can make a song. So then you got to understand that the record labels made a lot of money off of artists being in a studio, because you got to think about it. If an artist is in a studio and they're making an album and they're going to take 6 months, which like back in the day, people would take 6 months to make an album and they sounded like it. You know, some of the albums sounded like it took 6 months to make an album or even a year to make an album. And so the record companies would work out deals with the studios where it would be like $1,000 a day studio, but the record company would lock a room out for so long that they might pay $400 a day for the studio, or maybe $500 a day for the studio. So this $1,000 a day studio, by the time it gets to the accounting people at the record label and everything, that $1,000 a day that the record company was probably paying $400 a day for was close to like $1,700 a day. So then you think about 6 months, the record label's advancing people food. I ate many meals off of record. My homie's record deal, man, I could say I could have had it a whole lot harder, man. But everybody could always pass through and get a meal. You couldn't get no money, but you get you some bomb. You could always go by the studio and get you the real studio, not somebody's garage or production room, but an actual studio, and you can get you some bomb. And for me, Indian food. I would say that was the luxury meal that I could order and just kind of be like, okay.
I was blessed. I learned that, and I wished I would have moved on it sooner of what I was learning, because I ended up going back to Michigan and tried to teach the homies what I had witnessed in California. But it was two different places. So what I mean is, I used to work for Master P. I worked for No Limit Films, and one of my jobs, I used to go pick up tape and for the film, whatever, from the studios. So I had to go to, maybe it was Warner Brothers, I can't remember. And I remember waiting in the lobby with the security guard, waiting for them to go get what I needed. And so, I'm in there, I'm young, I'm looking around, I'm trying to meet who I need to meet and talk to who I need to talk to on the job, So I was like looking around, just enamored, and I'm like, wow, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I happened to say out loud, so this is where they make the music at, huh? And the security guard was like, well, not too much anymore. Now what they're doing is making it in their basement, and then they bring it here to get mastered and distributed. I was like, word? He was like, yeah. So it made sense, because I started seeing other stuff while I was in LA, and I was living at a studio. I was living with a dude that was doing it all in his living room. So oh shit. And I'm talking about, other than mastering, he did the whole production from his living room, like in studio. So it's like, it started breaking up. Had I not had that experience, I would have fell in line with everybody else, believing that you had to have the big mega studio, and you had to have this, you had to have that, and had to have this. If I wouldn't have saw that for myself, I'd have been, I'd have just like everybody else reading XXL saying that you got to do this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
From that experience, taught me the independent life. It led me in that direction, and seeing that, yeah, you can. I remember going, what was this dude's name? He was a manager, and he was taking me somewhere, because I was supposed to write a movie for Mad Lion, and what was his name? It's coming, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, he took me to this apartment real quick in the hood, and I'm like, looking around and wondering who apartment we going to. And we go in there, and I recognized dude, and it was a shabby looking place. It wasn't no, mansion or nothing. And we go in there, and I remember passing the room to the right and looking in, and I saw like a sequencer sitting on the dresser or something. And it was a bed and a mattress in there, but nothing else, and a sequencer on the dresser. And I'm like, and he was like, yeah, man, Russell, that's the dude name that took me over there. He took me in there, or he went in the room. He was like, "Hey, check out this beat I made, whatever, whatever." And it was one of the members from Born American. Remember that,
Oh,
Greg?
shoot.
Born American, yeah. It was one of them, and he was like, "Hey, check this out. I'm working with something, this, that, and the third." And I'm paying attention. I'm like, "Oh, so even them, they make okay, they doing this in they bedroom and shit. Okay." And then I'm, met Jurassic 5 and them and Live Rock Kill, and it just sealed the deal. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is okay. And when I went back to Michigan, trying to explain that to cats, it's like, no, man, we gotta have so and so. We gotta get, we gotta get the big board. They doing it with Pro Tools, and I'm like,
Yeah. I
yeah,
definitely like, I love the DIY thing. I've always made music like in my room. Um, but I do also think there's another element and vibe that being in a big nice studio gives you. I think if I could have, my way with anything music wise, like I'd get up in the morning and like drive to a nice studio with a bunch of guitars and amps and drums and
I'm with
an
it.
engineer and just, but I've also like I've spent the last 10 years, sitting at my desk or sitting on planes or sitting on floors making music, which I love. But I'm like, I'm ready. I think to create the best music I can, I would like to be in a big studio.
Big studio. Okay. All right. All right.
But
That's it.
that's just fun too, I mean, that's all the video, like
Yeah, I
my
think
dream is to record at Electric Ladyland,
I think
like
it's like
that's
it's also like stand up. I like the little clubs and small situations in the intimate rooms, but ain't nothing like you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying, the big thing behind you, the name and all that, the lights and all that old shit. Yeah, I feel you. They give you a different swag.
It's just different. Yeah. I wouldn't say either's better or worse because I really like both. But at this point right now in my career, like I'd like to be in the studio. Like just where you're locked in, feeling like you're showing up to work every day.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
But that'll come. We've had times as no fun where we've been in label studios and we've certainly taken advantage of that.
That's
It's
what's
been
up.
fun. Eat all
What's
their
up.
snacks and or
Dope. So, um, about probably about 9 months ago, um, we had one of the largest pop culture icons of our generation walk out onto a political stage, and he became so enthusiastic that he threw up a hand gesture, and then he spent around, and he had to do it one more time. Speaking about Mr. Elon Musk, when Elon Musk threw up his hand gesture, how did you interpret it?
it was a Nazi salute is what it was.
Yeah,
And this is fascism is what we're dealing with right now.
you know,
Don't let
it's
anyone tell you differently.
it's so interesting because um I knew someone who had become um influenced, very strongly influenced to the right. But it was interesting because it was like blind patriotism. So it's more like uh, if you look at a little kid and the little kid doesn't like the food in front of him, and he thinks by flipping his plate over,
Mm,
that's gonna maybe create a better option for him or something. But the way that his parents kind of have his lines of discipline structured, if you flip that plate over, either you're gonna eat what you flipped over, or you're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna get anything else. Um, that's kind of like the person that I know that
mm,
kind of went. And so, I spent a lot of time having conversations thinking like, okay, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show some facts, I'm gonna recommend some books, and I'm gonna speak on a level that kind of is above social media because anybody can think that they know something based off of a social media clip with a bunch of oohs, ahs, and snap, crackle, and pop going on. You know what I'm saying? And, I found myself with probably one of the last conversations I had with him, like, dude, I'm not that educated, but you're a lot less educated to me. And on these ways that you feel, have you read any book to substantiate that? Or are you just going off of oohs, ahs, being upset with where we are culturally? And and it's crazy because it's almost like you have people that just it's a rebellion, but they're so upset, it's almost like we're not going to deal with sense, dealing with common sense, dealing with sense, dealing with facts. And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna move on because I didn't even want to make this a whole, that kind of thing.
Could be hours on this for sure. I'm
but
very
this is the thing
interested.
that I say to people. I say, why didn't Trump debate Kamala 2 times that he could have debated her before the election? And they'll say, oh, because she's a liar, she's this, that, and the other, just da da da. I say, no. He didn't debate her because he had one rule for both times after he debated her the one time. Do you know what that rule is? And they'll say, no. I'll say, I do. She said for her to debate him, it had to be live fact checking.
Yeah.
It had to be. And people are so far gone that it's like, and I've struggled with it because I'm a passionate person. I might even be a self-proclaimed passionate person, but I'll say I'm a passionate person, and I just look at stuff, and I just kind of say, like, man, are we really in a place where facts don't matter anymore? And it's almost like, and it's like, imagine going to Las Vegas, and this is it's funny, but it's not funny. I was watching an interview by Daz Dillinger from the Dog Pound, and he was describing death row, and he said, and this was years ago, but he said, man, imagine being in Las Vegas and people are changing the rules of however you gambling, people are changing the rules mid-roll. So you're about to shake up some dice and throw them, and fools are changing the rules before the dice leave your hands. And I just feel like, that's where we at.
And you roll a 6, everyone's looking at it. It's obviously 2 3s. Like, it's obviously 2 3s, and they'll just say, no, it's 7. Like, no. Like, we're all looking at it. Like, we can all see it, but no. Like, you can just, tell me something right now. Tell me a fact. No, you can just say, no, it's not true. Lie. They're lying. Or no, it's the media, the mainstream. You just say whatever the fuck you want. It's like,
look, I gotta give a shout out. One of my foster parents died earlier this year, and I didn't know it. And the reason why I want to give him the shout out now is because that was my last. It was my last foster home. It was my senior year, and it was my last foster home in Kalamazoo, my hometown. And the first day when I went to that foster home, I go to the back kitchen. He's like, everybody, if they, what's up? They treated me just like family. They was like, what's up? Everybody in the back doing their thing, blah, blah, blah. Make yourself something to eat, whatever. I go in the back. It's about 15 niggas back there. Shoot dice. Man. I learned how to shoot dice in my foster home. The first day I'm in the back, like, for real. Like, I was just in the juvenile home 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Goodness. Oh man, I got memories flooding back now. Just finding
I was never good at it.
Oh
man, I got a whole tour. I got licked. I remember a whole tour.
Oh, I'd have been there though. I'd have been there though, losing. And matter of fact, the pops, the guy, the gentleman that died, I'd have been there and lost my whole little check that I didn't work at Myers for, and be like, Pops, he'll throw out the $20, $30. Here you go, man. Trying to win it back. And yeah, man. I'd have been there before. I'd have been there before, lost that whole check.
Hey man, shout out to Brown. This was the last time I gambled for real. We drove to Las Vegas to incorporate years ago. I started with $121. That was my lucky little woo woo. In an hour, at my highest, I was at about $8,000. I got down to about almost 7,000, and he pulled me away. And he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna have to take this ride back to LA with you and hear what you gonna be going through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What you gonna be doing? And he was even betting on me while I was licking. I had a lick. And you know what? I walked away from that and I said, you know what, man? I'm not gonna really gamble anymore. Like this was my white unicorn or my purple unicorn. This was that one time that I was able to win. And it's so funny. After that, whenever while I was managing and road managing, I would always talk to people that would pick us up and show us around and drivers and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to speak to some people that kind of told me how Las Vegas worked. And it was really scary. They were like, basically, no clocks. If you're a whale, they provide everything to you, and everybody works together. So the drivers work with the concierge, works with the girls, works with the people that got the extracurriculars. Like everybody has this circuit, and the goal is to keep a whale in Las Vegas as long as they can keep him before he has to leave. And that was just, and you know, man, like I said, man, I don't want to say I got a good heart or I'm just like a passion, but man, that was just so evil to me. And I was just like, dang. And matter of fact, I had a homeboy who lived in Las Vegas. It chewed him up and spit him out. But I asked him, what's the craziest story you ever heard? And he said, there was a guy who, his girlfriend was always bartenders and stuff like that. She always worked in bars. She bartended or whatever. And so she had told him that there was a guy who was at the bar and he was setting $100 bills on fire. So, you know, they go over there, get the manager, everybody like, man, you know, you can't do, you're going to get arrested, whatever, we're going to call the police, you can't be doing this, whatever. And said homeboy was lighting $100 bills on fire and he was crying because he had lost his business. So he took money from him and his business partner's business to go to Las Vegas, and he had lost all that money, and he said he was crying. He said, like, dude, my wife's gonna divorce me, and he was just going through all this. And I was just kind of like, man, that's some serious stuff, man.
You be laughing while they getting you the free drinks and you know and cracking jokes. I know I used to be a flight attendant in Flight of Vegas for an hour sometimes, and everything is funny until you lose that last dollar.
Man.
Shit ain't. Oh, you like, hey, who bought that drink?
I never.
Everybody drink. You like, all right, I ain't paying for that.
I never went out there and lost everything, but I went with somebody that lost everything, and they was borrowing money and losing money that they borrowed. And the craziest thing, there was this guy who was the person who lost money, who was his friend, and he was one of those dudes that, like, man, you never want to hear him talk crazy about you because he was just one of those dudes that was just like over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like to tell you who this guy is, just real quick. He had a best friend, the guy who I'm talking about, who you don't want to hear talk about you. He had a best friend. And so he told his best friend, he said, man, you know, I saw your girl in that porno. And so fools but he really did. And he really was. And so he's that guy. Like, really, like, man, you just don't want to hear him talk.
Yeah.
The dude called me on the phone and was roasting my homeboy. Like, dude, don't y'all lend him no more money. He been calling everybody trying to borrow money, whatever.
Yeah, the gambling stuff gets out of hand.
I did it twice. My draws twice I did, boy. Not no way out money or whatever, but it was enough. I wasn't rich. Goddamn it.
I would
the
I I'll go
the
ahead.
the driver, the limo driver, he was the same driver that brought us to the hotel,
Mm.
tip or whatever. And so we leaving the hotel, going to the airplane in the morning. He like, holding his hand like, you ain't gonna get me that. Like, you know what it is.
It was
Yeah,
gone.
he was used to it.
Don't act brand new. You know what happened last night.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't even buy breakfast that morning, boy. I had to wait till to get to the plane.
I would
Fly
say
hungry.
my two least favorite places, Las Vegas and Palm Springs.
Why Palm
In
Springs?
the to me, like I've been to Coachella a couple times, and it's cool, but Palm Springs is just hell of a hot, and it's just old. It's just really old.
Look old.
A lot of
Yeah.
old whites there.
Yeah.
You know what? Not even about the
Old
old whites. It's just an old place. Like it's somewhere, huh?
Old money there.
No, it is. And then, dude, and it's a trip. When you see Bob Hope's house that he had built, yeah, it looked like something futuristic in the '60s. Like it's like literally old,
Right.
but it's a lot of money there.
Yeah. Anywhere that shouldn't have grass that's covered in beautiful grass makes me uncomfortable.
Every time I go to this, it look dry.
It should be, but then everyone's got beautiful grass and there's parks and there's golf courses. You're like,
That's like Arizona forcing that
then you
shit.
drive like 40 minutes to the Salton Sea or to anywhere out there, and it's just like, no, this is what it's supposed to look like. But
Yeah.
you know, they got their pools, they got their sprinklers, and they're living good.
Does fact
It's
check
strange.
matter?
It's supposed to. Ideally, it would. I don't know if it actually, I mean, does it anymore? I guess not, but it should. I wish it did. I sure wish
I,
it did.
I tell you, it's so weird because people will fact check with fake facts. like it's such a rabbit hole when it comes to information, and it's almost like information is almost like eating fast food. It's like they can dress it up and make it look good, make it taste half decent and everything, but it's absolutely there's nothing to it.
And you don't know who's compromised nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like the news stations are compromised, ABC and all those get like who's compromised. Even what was the fact checker used to be on Facebook called they used to be out there for real, and I can't remember who they were the go-to people to fact check.
Like PolitiFact?
No, before PolitiFact.
Oh.
It was a group before PolitiFact. They fact checked everything, not just political shit. And I can't think who what their name is right now.
Like
they were
Snopes?
Yeah, Snopes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was the original OG.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they got acquired by somebody who's been compromised. So you like, you got to find 6, 7 different sources that are saying the same thing and reading between the lines.
But if you don't want to believe it nowadays, you just say no, wrong.
Yeah.
And then you can just say that. Apparently.
Yeah. And like today
President does it. So
today wasn't supposed to be happening. It's supposed to be in the rapture. We supposed to have been. Yeah, I know.
Probably find people that tell you that it actually happened and everyone's dead and we're just living in the afterlife.
I was waiting for that spin. I wait for somebody.
I'm sure.
We're in the rapture.
I'm sure you could find it out there. I guarantee you can.
We just didn't make it. We're in hell.
Yeah.
They, like.
Nah, it's interesting how everybody's so loopy and thrown off balance by like where we are right now. Nobody even tripped off the last presidential election they had. The social media mechanism stopped fact checking. Now they was fact checking when the COVID stuff was going on. They was fact checking when you would say stuff. They would even say, this is AI generated. Like you would
Right.
have, things that would say this is an AI generated picture.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever we are culturally right now, oh, that's a wrap.
Yeah,
It's
YouTube
fascism.
just announced today that they're anybody that they canceled accounts that were COVID violations and maybe some political stuff or whatever, getting their accounts back.
Well, I mean, not to get too deep, but I think that's the fascist playbook is you get everyone so confused and so unsure of what's real or not that when they start lining everyone up against the wall and making them dig their own graves and shooting them in the back of the head, it's too late because everyone's just been like played for a fool and you're so confused because you can't tell what's real or not anymore. And then next thing we're going to have a third term of this guy and he's never going to give it up and he's going to.
I'll say,
ICE is just a start, man. That's just a start. They haven't
I,
started killing people
I,
yet.
I think he's trying to fortify Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to fortify that area so that when he does say I'm not leaving, that he can't be attacked. I bet you they tried to do that Iron Dome thing over DC first.
Any totalitarian, Mao, Pol Pot, I mean, that was communism, but it's totalitarian at the end. Stalin, Lenin, Hitler. It's all the same. It's all the same playbook.
I'll say this and I'll move on to the last question. Whenever a group of people think that they're going to come up by oppressing another group of people that are part of the infrastructure, whether they're the highest part or they're the lowest part, but they're part of the infrastructure, it'll never go well, man. It'll never go well, man. You're thinking you're gonna come up off of mashing somebody down, but who you're mashing is part of the fabric. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not gonna work. But going to the last question, man. If you had a biopic, what would the name be?
Well, hopefully it's with everyone in No Fun, and it would be called the No Fun Show, probably.
That's big, man.
Yeah.
If I had a biopic, it'd be called Me.
Nice. I like that.
Nah,
I know, but that's actually good.
Me. Who would play you?
I'm pretty terrible with movies and stuff, so I gotta dig my brain for some actors, to be honest. But who would I want to play me? I'm trying to think of someone who might actually.
You kind of favor, I would say, what's his name? Robert Pattinson. Is that his
Oh yeah,
name?
he's cool. He's cool. That'd be cool. I don't know, maybe like Miles Teller, maybe.
I don't know who that is.
He's in movies, so someone told me I look like him once, so that's why I say that. But he's a good actor. I'm trying to think of what I've seen him in, but I watch a lot more sports than I do movies for sure.
Nah, that's dope. So where can people find your music?
So on Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff, it's Huebline, Huebline. And then the group I'm in is called No Fun. No Fun with an exclamation point, all one word. And it's No Fun LA on Instagram. And yeah, you should definitely, Amaru, I'll send you other people's numbers, but you guys should get some of the other guys and our one girl on here. And Wada, the one girl in here, she's from LA.
Yeah, what group? Who her daddy again?
Gangsta D from Second to None.
Second to None.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should have her on, and everyone too. But yeah, there's your LA, be a real LA person on there.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Hey man, when it's so funny when you say Second to None, I think of High C because they were like they all kind of ran together. And the Rhodium Swap Meet, like they yeah.
We've heard some cool stories from her dad and from her. Yeah, it's cool being around them, and she grew up around Quick and all them, so that's
Nah,
pretty
for
cool.
sure. No, that was part of her dad's folks. So what do
Hmm.
you have coming up, Amaru?
I'm rescheduling the thing that me and Huebline are doing together. We're probably gonna do it in LA. As soon as
Like we
I get off
should.
here, I'm gonna look at the calendar and make that shit happen. And then working on the new comedy show out there in Pasadena. You know what I'm saying? Putting that together. So
All right.
working on some. I'm producing somebody's album as well. So
All good. Well, no, man, this has been another episode of Splendid Radio on
wait, wait,
Far
wait, wait.
Side Theme.
What about you?
Yeah.
Sir? What about you?
Man. I don't like to talk about what's coming up, man. I'll drop it when it's going down. You know what I'm saying? When it's going down, I'll speak on it. But hey, man.
All right. All right.
Yeah. I speak it right now. I speak it to myself, man.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? But we staying busy though. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's I will say one thing, and I'm sure that this could probably resonate amongst all of us. I was talking to one of my buddies who he's a buddy, but we do business together too. And one thing for sure, since January 20th, you had to work a whole lot harder for every dollar, man. I mean, you have, and then people want to give you less. So you're working harder and they want to give you less. So it's just probably, for me, I'm just trying to figure out how to maneuver on the entertainment side, on the merch side, on, the investments, just like everything is kind of like how to maneuver in this climate where people expect so much more, but they're giving so much less. And then they want to put a fat scoop of something that don't make sense on top of all that. You know
Mm-hmm. It's so bad. I bought a bag of Munchos the other day, and I said to my girl, I was like, man, they put too many chips in here. There's no air. To the air. I was like, the bag is full. That's because they shrank the bag. It's but still charging the same price. Like that's how bad it is. I noticed that there was no air and it was all full to the top. Like what the?
Wow. A bag of Doritos, like not even a party size bag in the grocery store the other day was $7.29.
Yeah, I didn't say the
So
10.
I did not buy those. I
I didn't
wanted
say the
them, but
10.
I was like, what do you think that cost them? 4 cents to make a bag of Doritos and
Right,
charge me
right, right, right.
$7? I mean,
I seen
something's
maybe
got to give
Baltimore or
at some
something.
point.
Maybe it was in Baltimore. It was I saw them, they were $10. Bag of Doritos.
Hey,
I was
man,
like,
that's hotel prices.
Mm.
Mini bar. That's mini bar price.
shoot. I'm going on a diet.
Hey. Well, no, man, that's been another dope episode. Splendid Radio on Fireside TV. Thank you, Huebline.
Thank you guys.
Once again, Stone Cold Groove, Amaru.
I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
All right, man.
Y'all
Peace.
take care of yourself. I'll talk